Hello, I am the Movie Nut, and today. Wait. Hello, I am the Movie Nut. Fuck, wait. Hello, I am the Movie Nut, and today I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Hello, I am the Movie Nut, and today I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Hello, I am the Movie Nut, and today I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Hello, I am the Movie Nut, and today I'm talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It has been a long time since I have sat in front of this camera and made a video, so I apologise if I am rusty, but you guys don't want to hear about why I didn't make videos or what I've been doing. You're here because... Bleh. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It has been a long time since I have made a video. I'm not going to bore you with all the details of why I haven't made videos or anything like that. You're here because you want to know my thoughts on this film, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Directed by Wes Craven. It was released in 1984. It starred Heather Langenkamp, Johnny Depp, and Robert Englund as the iconic Freddy Krueger. And it basically is about a deranged killer spirit kind of guy who kills teenagers in their dreams and then they die in real life. And if you're any kind of a horror fan at all, you already know that. Like, I think Freddy Krueger is possibly the most iconic horror villain. I would have to, that's an interesting poll idea, is who is more iconic as far as just imagery, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, or Freddy. To me it would be Freddy, but like that glove and the mangled face and the jumper. But we're here to talk about the movie, not necessarily the characters. I watched this movie when I was 11 first. It was one of my gateway drugs into horror. And I remember being kind of underwhelmed by it because my ma had hyped it up as like the scariest movie she'd ever seen in her entire life. And then I watched it and I was like, man, it's good. It's old as fuck though. And then I kind of like, I didn't really rate it, and I would see it rated super highly on like slasher movie boards and being like an important film for horror and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but like Halloween's better. Spoiler alert, I still think it is. Scream from 1996, which is directed by the same person, I also think is better, but that's my favourite movie of all time. So, but that aside, is Nightmare on Elm Street a great horror film? Fucking yeah, obviously. Watching this now at 22 instead of 11, it's a fucking incredible horror film. My favourite thing about it is that it's really short. It's only 84 minutes, which means that it doesn't waste any time. This movie is lean as fuck. It just gets in, does its stuff, and gets out. By modern standards, it is adorably quaint. I don't know, some of the effects just look funny. You know, old movie stuff. And then there's a notoriously bad shot at the end of like a mannequin being dragged through a window, which is just dreadful. But that's why I like old horror films, is they have this sort of DIY kind of we're doing the best we can with what we have thing going on, which is what I like about movies. So I don't really mind old movies, and then I like practical gore effects. Like to me, Robert Englund's face in this with the realistic looking burn marks and blisters and stuff looks so much freakier than like the CGI Jackie Earl Haley Freddy, because it looks more real even though it's actually rubber. I don't know, because it's like a tangible thing you can reach out and touch, it looks better to me. But the most iconic thing about this movie, of course, is Freddy himself. Robert Englund gives a great performance in this, despite the fact he's barely in the fucking movie. That is the thing that people don't really remember about this, is he's a bit like Pinhead in Hellraiser. He's not in the fucking movie that much, but he was so cool and so freaky that everybody just latched onto him, and then he became like an increasingly bigger part of each of the sequels, which I haven't seen. But when he is on screen, he is just a force of nature. Um, his dialogue is, whatever voice changer they use for Robert Englund, his dialogue is a bit like garbled. It's almost hard to understand what he's actually saying a lot of the time. But he still has some cool moments, and just again when he does the thing with the glove, like it works. Like the movie isn't really very scary at all by modern standards, but even like when it would go into the dream and like the score would kick in, and the score in the film is incredible as well. Um, you would be like it did. I felt it here. I wasn't bored during the movie. I was really tired. I was coming off 3 10-hour shifts, so I was getting a little sleepy, which during Nightmare on Elm Street is always kind of funny. But I wasn't bored by any means. Some of the scenes with like the non-Freddy characters um, were a little iffy because Heather Langenkamp aside, who is absolutely fucking incredible in this movie, she really, no, I don't say carries it, but she kind of does, because Freddy's barely in it, and the rest of the actors, aside from maybe her mother, aren't really doing much, to be honest. Not being harsh, but like it. That's not why we're here. We're here to see Freddy fuck up some people, and we also need our lead character to be able to carry the dramatic weight of the film, and she is absolutely phenomenal in this movie. Um, One of my favorite horror characters, I would say. She doesn't have a lot of like character development necessarily, but just her performance is really good, and I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's very simple. Like there's no like it's very like the dialogue's pretty standard, um, like student film dialogue. But she just kind of like gets across the threat of the situation very very well, and she feels like a real person. Like a lot of the time now in horror films, the lead girl just looks like an actress, whereas Heather looks like a normal teenager, and that's really immersive for horror films. The rest of the characters don't really do a whole lot. This is Johnny Depp's first movie, which is a really interesting trivia thing. But he doesn't he's not really doing much here, to be honest. The last thing I want to discuss really is there's two things. The kills are class. There's only three. The movie's very light on gore and stuff like that. Well, it's not light on gore. Like out of the three kills, two of them are fucking gnarly for the time. But it's not like Evil Dead or The Thing or anything. It's not like that level of like splatterfest. It's bloodier than say Halloween, but the body count is quite low. But two of the kills are two of the greatest kills in slasher history. Like they're unbelievably iconic. We all know the roommate or the girl being dragged across the ceiling, and then Johnny Depp being like slurped into the bed. And if you're worried about me spoiling the movie, it's nearly 40 years old. You're fine. And if you're anywhere remotely a horror fan, you already know about those deaths anyway. And then the last thing I want to talk about is how when the movie does the cinematography and sort of like the design of the locations does a great job of feeling dreamlike. And that sounds really like esoteric and not specific, but what I mean is that alien, uncomfortable quality of being in a dream. This movie just nails the sort of inconsistent space and locations that seem to stretch on too long. It's very hard to explain, but you know what I mean if you watch it. Like empty streets that seem to be like misshapen, corners that are like at weird angles and stuff. But it's not super obvious. It's not like Inception. It's not like it does a great job of capturing the unease of the setting and like is this real, is this not, and things like that. So overall, I did really really enjoy this movie. I don't think it's as good as Halloween. I don't think it's as good as Scream. I haven't seen enough of Wes Craven's filmography aside from this and the 4 Scream films. I need to watch more of his stuff. I would I would rate it above pretty much all the Scream movies except the first one. As far as his filmography, it is a very important film for horror, but I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. If you're wondering why I can praise something so effusively and I still give it a 9, because I don't, like, this film doesn't, like, hit me, like, here in, like, my special place. You know what I mean? It doesn't hit me the same way as, like, Halloween does. And I think Scream is just a lot better. I think Scream basically takes stuff that this movie and Halloween did and just fucking nails it. For what the rest of my family gave it, my ma gave it an 8, My sister and my girlfriend gave it a 7.5 out of 10 each, and then my sister's boyfriend gave it a 7, which gave us an average score of 7.8 out of 10, which is obviously lower than what I would give it, but I think that's pretty fair. I think if you sit down to watch this with people now, some people will be put off by how old it is and how like cheesy some of it looks. But if you're watching this with a few horror film buddies on Halloween, it's super easy to watch. Great for a marathon because it's only 84 minutes, so it's just like in and out without wasting anybody's time. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the movie. I really enjoyed it. Next week for my spooky season reviews, third annual time doing this, we will be watching The Addams Family, which is not a horror film, but it is a Halloween classic, and I'll be discussing that next week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry if I've been a little rusty and kind of all over the place. I haven't recorded this kind of style of video in a really, really long time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.